YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. I hate doing stuff like this. I really, really hate doing videos like this. But I committed and remain committed to bringing you the news that you need to know, the news that you may not necessarily be aware of. And I will honor that commitment because it is the right thing to do, despite the difficulty of it. Let me just say this, y'all. I realize that, we're all still here. I thank God that we're all still here. I get the fact that the world did not end as we know it on the 21st. But I'm here to tell you that we're getting close. We're getting mighty, mighty close. And it's stories like this that really illustrate that point for me. This past Monday morning, a 45-year-old man was arraigned in court and has been charged with the murder of his 17-year-old daughter. I need to get his name for y'all. I apologize. 45-year-old Rodney McIntyre has been charged with stabbing his, again, 17-year-old daughter 15 times and leaving her body in a dumpster. 15 times and leaving his own daughter in a dumpster. And that would be bad enough by itself. All by itself. I could probably kill 15 minutes talking about that. But of course it gets worse. It always gets worse. In addition to the medical examiner's conclusion that Ebony Johnson, a, once again, 17-year-old girl, had been stabbed 15 times, allegedly by her father. Apparently, forensics have come back and concluded that Mr. Edward, I can't call that bastard Mr. Fuck him, Rodney's DNA was found inside Ebony Johnson's vagina. At this point, the police are, or at least the report, is referring to it as a potential sexual relationship. I find that I realize that it happens. I understand that it happens. I understand that incest occurs and occasionally incest is consensual. I get that. I do. I'm just not buying it here. And I can't even tell you why. I'm just going with my gut. I can't tell you whether it was rape. I can't tell you whether it was necrophilia, whether he, had sexual relations with his daughter post-mortem. But it's just, I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. But yeah. So a 17-year-old girl, Ebony Johnson, in the D.C. area. I know if I say 17 years old one more time, but it's just, you know what I'm saying? My mothers out there are going to understand me when I say that 17 years old is a baby. 17 years old, you haven't even begun to live yet. And to lose your life in such a heinous, horrific, incomprehensible, unconscionable manner at the hands of your own father. I'm so at a loss for words right now, y'all, and I know me being at a loss for words doesn't necessarily make for good video. But how do you expound upon the most central male figure, ideally, in every little girl's life, turning on her and making the decision to take her life? And again, this is alleged, but it should be noted that in the same news report, I can't remember this jackass's last name, forgive me, McIntyre. Rodney McIntyre openly and without hesitation stated in an interview that apparently was conducted 2 months prior to his arrest that he's been charged with all kind of shit. That apparently he beat a murder rap, he beat an attempted murder rap, beat some assault charges. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no question that this is a man who, has posed a threat that has violent tendencies. When it's coming out of your own mouth, you can't really argue the point. So, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't even know where to start placing blame here. All I know is that and by we, yeah, that's where I'm going, we, as a community, as a global community, have got to start taking better care of our children and taking better care of each other's children. There is a stigma, and I'm going to be all the way real about it. There's a stigma, especially when it comes to people of color, that what happens behind closed doors should stay behind closed doors, that we don't air our dirty laundry, that, you know what I'm saying, nothing leaves these four walls, that kind of shit. And it is categorically and patently wrong. And that attitude leads to this. It's a real short walk from keep your mouth shut to they're putting a toe tag on somebody's baby. I'm sorry. Maybe that sounds dramatic. If it does, I apologize. But you know what? It happens. And this is proof that it happens. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. This is not a hand transplant. This is not rocket science. We are not, you know what I mean, talking nuclear fission here. I mean, it's just that simple. Speak up. To stab a little girl, a young woman, whatever the fuck you want to call her, to stab that child 15 times, leave your sperm in her, whether it was prior to or after the incident, the crime that was committed, well, the murder, and then drop the baby that you participated in the creation of in a dumpster. That kind of shit don't come out of nowhere. This is what the fuck you need to know. It don't come out, it's not just popping up out of the blue. There had to have been a buildup. There's no way under God's green earth that there wasn't some kind of argument, that there wasn't some sort of known discrepancy. There's absolutely, I all the way around refuse to believe that this just came out of thin air. Somebody saw something, a neighbor heard something, there were some rumors, the streets was watching, whatever the fuck the case of the situation was, you know what I'm saying? It's not an organic thing. It's not spontaneous. 15 times and your sperm is not spontaneous. It's not like ain't shit on TV, so here, let me jukes up my child a little bit and then, God forgive me. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, in addition to this anger, and I realize that I'm coming across as real hostile right now, but it's just, this kind of shit goes on all over the world. You know, over in the Middle East, over in India, over in Pakistan, it's dubbed an honor killing. You know what I'm saying? When a father, drops his daughter in a well and leaves her to die. When an uncle decides to set his niece on fire because he thinks that she might be screwing around. You know what I'm saying? And we look at situations like that and we say, oh my God, the horror. Something like that could never happen here. But other shit is going on here. Other shit is going on here, and people are too concerned with the own little bubble that they live in to stand up, take a stance, dial 911, pull a police officer to the side, even just to say, hey, something funny seems like it's going on in, 14C. Could you just keep an eye on that? You know what I'm saying? Where are the days of concerned citizens? Where did they go? I would love to find out, and I would love to get them back, because now, more than ever, we need it. Stop remaining silent. Silence is deadly. It can be. Silence can absolutely be deadly. Speak up. You know, everybody went crazy when Hillary Rodham Clinton wrote, "It takes a village to raise a child." That phrase is based on an old African proverb. And I mean, regardless of whether or not it's like rhetoric now or whether it's, you know what I mean, it still rings true to this day. And it will ring true tomorrow and next week and for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? These little kids, and when I say little kids, I mean from the, you know, from the age of nothing up until 18 years old, are the mothers and the fathers and the leaders of tomorrow. And I actually was just having a conversation about this with a very dear friend of mine. Shouts out to you, Jason. My club boyfriend, Jason. I love you dearly. We were just having this conversation because he's really passionate about, you know, shaping the minds of young people and really being a catalyst for change and, you know, galvanizing forces in the world of youth. And we were just chopping it up about that. You know, and I made the point that, you know, when I get to a certain age where you know, God give me the years where I can be looked at as an elder, it's these 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds that are going to make the decisions for me. That are going to make the decisions as far as my health care, as far as my residence, as far as my social security, as far as, you know, my insurance policy, you know what I mean? The way that we are treating our babies now, what message are we really sending out for the time when, you know, our voice isn't going to mean dick anymore and these children are going to be the ones running shit? We have got to start protecting our children in a way that we've never done before. I miss the days of bring your ass in the home when the street lights come on. I miss the days of a well-intentioned hand across the back of somebody's ass. I mean, I'm just being real about it. I miss those days of I love you so much, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep you safe. And if the person 4 streets or 4 houses or 4 you know, buildings or 4 apartments down from me sees you out of line and decides to smack you upside your head and call me and tell me about it later, let me be the one to say thank you. Because we're raising up our tomorrow. And even so far as that, if, you know what I'm saying, Mrs. Johnson over in 17 sees Mr. McIntyre over in, you know, 13 fucking up, let somebody know. Call her mother, call the grandmother, call the police, tell someone else you trust. Shit, start a rumor in a building so that everybody can get involved and keep an eye on shit when shit looks funny. And in that way, we can ideally avoid situations like this. Because this absolutely could have been avoided had it been nipped in the bud from the foundation of it, rather than letting you get to the top floor of dysfunction, and now we've got a murder and some DNA in a poor dead child's body from her father. That's my time. I really want to know what y'all have to say. Y'all already know I'm including the link below. I'm so tight right now, and I've got to get to bed. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, make it happen and see for yourself. We've got to do better. We have no choice but to do better. And if Rodney McIntyre did what he is accused of doing, may he be strapped to a mattress in the deepest, darkest, lowest level of hell and left there to fry for all fucking eternity. You're nothing. God forgive, Lord, I'm about to go in. You no longer qualify as a human being. You're an animal and you should be put down like a dog. That's exactly where the fuck I stand on it, and that's what the fuck it is. Anybody has a problem with it, come see me. With that being said, YouTube, one love. God, Jesus, have mercy right now.